Okay, so if you think of the all right, this is the way we explained it. So we said in Goddess Nui, Nui being N-U-I-T. She's French, actually. I think we said in ancient times she was from Denmark. D-E-N-M-A-R-K, meaning not your not your land, L-A-N-D, but the goddess terms, which are over the heads of normal people. Okay, so this is where it gets hard to speak God to the children of Earth, and then having to try to get through where their heads are at with the words that they hear and what they had read in every day. So there's God that's up at the night sky where the clouds are. They're above the clouds, right? That's why we gave you it Mount Olympus. Zeus and his wife, which, right, at this point, let's just call me Zena for the zenith, which is the North Pole. So we're gravitated to Earth and the clouds above. So Zena, right, being the woman, and Zeus live in the clouds. They watch over Earth and the people throughout the long-term civilization, right? Humans, when they're grounded, right, they don't levitate. They walk, right? Okay, great. So humans walk on the ground. They can't see above the clouds. There's just no way, unless you see from the outside, but we're not getting into that. We're just going to say it's not possible. So for it not being possible in this conversation, you walk on the ground. When you look up, you see clouds. I'm telling you that God lives above the cloud line where you can't see, okay? You have one life. You're born, you age, you die. Good? Great. That's how humans live. So then there is, and then while you live, though, you meet somebody that you fall in love with, or you don't. You have children, or you don't. For this instance, I'm not. Okay, here's where the New Age becomes a problem. I always have an offense, a defense, and an offense. So if I side and try to have a nice conversation with somebody who is against homosexuality, they don't even want to know about it, they don't want to speak about it, they don't want to see it, they just want to go off in their little heterosexual world and never have to lay eyes on it. Okay, I get it. I understand. That's your God-given right. You have the right to go live in a heterosexual world and never have to experience a gay. Great. That's the way families work. You were born with the innate ability to have children, to have the desire to want children. You should have the right to go participate with a woman quietly and not have to be subjected to other people who are angry that you want to do so. I mean, that doesn't sound fair or correct. Just like if I turn that conversation onto the gays and I say, well, you would like to be able to hold hands, to be out in public, and whatever it is that you desire, I would assume it's you desire to be whatever you get mad at us for having, you desire the same. I mean, I can't possibly fathom there would be another logical programming for a human in whatever. Not that I think that that's proper, but I didn't do this section of programming. So nobody is thinking less of you in your community of happily paired homogeneous. We are heterogeneous over here at the moment. But then that gets confusing in my later documents with my heterogeneous pals, who then I have to come up with another word, being we're monochromatic, meaning our chromosomes are, are congruent in for breeding purposes between the man and the woman. The set of Right. Then we had to go to like the X and Y axis on AXIS, not ACCESS. I know that the divergence of the ear gets confusing. And then especially if your one father lives in, or one brother. Right, I can't say father because that's fat her. Well, I am fat her. Right, but no, right. So I made the word da with a D after it, dad, for Russia, because they say da. Right, got it. So you guys are big daddy, Russia, and your little daughter, who's getting fat and hates it in America, who's also the same color as Big Da in Daddy Russia, for Mount Olympus over the clouds. Here's the thing. There's always this. This is how humans have been living, which Mount Olympus can see down and see if life, now that you have these things called highways between multiple states. If you're driving in a vehicle, right, as a human, you only see maybe 2,100 yards in front of you, but you're moving, and then your line of sight as you go, it moves. I mean, it's a moving target. If you're up in the clouds and you're looking down, you can see several states ahead of you in a depiction of how God can see things out ahead of you at a state's level, where a human driving the car, kind of like life. If you're just going day to day, you really don't know what's coming tomorrow or the day after or in the next 10 years. But if you're up in the clouds at God level for a specific purpose, then you can see the states in great length ahead of you in order to warn the driver going down the road should some danger be breaking out or up ahead. It's specific to your geographical location. It's not I'm just targeting all of these people. No, it happens around the world, every single place. So for those of you who feel singled out and targeted for some reason by the Holy Roman Empire at other times and the Holy Catholics, and this is the way this structure works. You ready? When you have to give words to something and credence to something, CREEDANCE, I'm ANCE. The reason why, and I don't even know if I can do this. Let's see if I do this. If I put this here. Okay. The A is a lambda with a line for a one-time human existence, like a per se, PERSAY. I say it once. It is pertinent to the person, PERSON. The O is one closed circle, meaning it's just this life. Because if you're one of the lucky people who sigma next and roll into, say, like I met my friend Perry Singh. I call him, and by the way, he is Guyana beautiful and Guyana traditional. He has the beautiful Guyana intonation and dexterity that I love. When I listen to it, it feels like home, like somebody actually gets me and knows who I am, or knew who I was then. But he would be what I would call a zodiac program approved, because he was good in his grandfather's day, and promises were made to him as, I guess if you want to call it, I mean, the Holy Crusades. I mean, people don't even know what those are, but it is still existence in the sense that it is a human, it's a project that needs to be fixed. Humans are not perfect. When humans become perfect, the Holy Crusades are over. And then we all live happily ever after together in the way that it should be. And not this dystopian, which is what Benjamin calls it. All right, anyway, so getting back to Guyana, beautiful, traditional, not me, Perry, Singh. He said that he is he already knows for a fact he's the reincarnation of his grandfather. And I said, that is amazing. I said, you know, that's like old soul. That's probably why, one of the reasons why we get along so well. Now, I know from my hierarchy in human things that the inner animal of his grandfather, right, it died. However, morte is what morte is actually something different where there's no body left behind. That's what I am. But he had left a body in his Guyana beautiful tradition as grandfather. But while he lived, he did great things in his specialty that he was given as a direct order from the Legion of the Holy Crusaders for his people, his traditional people that we try to take care of. Huh? Great. Now, this is like big groups of socioeconomics, and economics is different because now you use money, but if you think of the people as the wealth of the commonwealth of a nation, like I mean, that's how we described it, but now you all get your head cases. You're like, money, 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 mas, 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 mas. And not Guyana. I'm talking about the Americans. Okay, so Perry's body, the grandfather's name and birth date suit, right? His skin, his suit, died. His inner animal being the beauty of that man who did well, who was proven to be a good inner sanctum soul, then moved into a zodiac program like kind of like Space Mountain, where like you have multiple cars and like you're waiting, you know, and then you go for the ride when the light goes on. Great. Okay, so then it stays in the same family. He comes back as now the grandson with the same inner animal, but more this and the same outer beauty of the same lineage. Do you understand? Like he's happy with his beauty, as beautiful Guyana as a Singh. He doesn't want to change his beauty. He liked it then. He wants to be it again. Great. So as long as your line of beautiful Guyanan traditional Singh continues to have children, you'll have genetic seeds to then move forward and have another and another, and you stay in your beautiful linear lineage as your beautiful inner animal spirit. I mean, that's what we used to say. Not like animal, like, I don't know, like I'm making bright, like, I mean, if, sure, I could be an animal too. I'd be a bird watching over how beautiful that piece was. Since I live in the clouds anyway. All right, so that's how the zodiac life, that's how I explain it, because I don't know what the zodiac was of his grandfather's birthday, but it had some symbol and meaning, and then the new Perry came back as a new symbol meaning, but the same inner tune, the inner beauty, right? And he knows he's in tune with who he was before. So, with that being said, then we've got, then we have, let's see, so that's the zodiac programming, right? Oh, and my situation is a little different, which is why some got mad, because I got called in based on the ligature system and the level of the cloud that I live at, watching the state of affairs on the road in watching over my grandmother who was having issues, because I knew the lineage, just like Perry knew the lineage of what he was coming in at. And I'm watching, knowing that the white people in America, London, or Ireland, and in Italy, and America, because we had West Virginia and Iowa. Right, West Virginia, I know everybody makes fun. Oh my God, it's for incest. Yeah, it is. We like to keep the lineage of our sacred line pure and clean. Thank you. We don't want visitors, and kissing cousins are okay. All right, so that's the way that works for all of you weirdos that think a kike is bad and a Jew is great. Okay, we live in a very weird world where the words don't make sense. All right, let's think about this. And your words, anyway, that transfer over from the old world to the new world, they're just spy words. I mean, it's part of the Holy Crusades project, but most of you aren't up that high. Okay, so where are we in highway, looking down and out? Right, so the reports were on what I was witnessing, and then there was facial. I mean, at one point, like, how do you don't want to give away too many things of how the cloud programs work for helping humans as a goddess, but there was, say, a walk-on roll of moving pictures is what we used to actually say, because that's actually what it was, but you didn't know, your pictures didn't move, they just stayed. So then I'd bring a priest with us, and he and I would counsel. We tell you that we work at the figurehead level of the Catholic Church. If you were in Holy Rome and the Caesar and the Romans were an impressive to your family, not everybody liked us, we get that. We have other personas that we work with everybody, and we're in charge of the whole operation, so good, bad, and ugly. So we have to document it, and as it changes, document that, so this way those in certain areas can stay focused on what they need to do, and they can advise properly on how to fix this major operation that currently is going really bad. All right, so here's the thing. When we had we had a walk-on roll, okay? Humans, whatever year it was, we would have a set appointment, however that works. He and we said we would come down from Mount Olympus. We would wear whatever for the area that we were of specialty that we were working with. As the church, the head of the church, the faces behind the name of the Holly Cat, which worked for some, and then the Holy Cat for others that liked the Christians. And then even some of the non-Christians, they knew of our reputation, and so they would meet with us to have a council, and that's where we said it will be a council directly with Nicaea, Nicaean, N-I-C-E-A, N-I-C-E-A is just me, the woman, as he says, woman speaking. And when Niklaus is with me, then it is Nicaean. It's the two N's with the I-A in the middle, and that goes with the SSIA position for documentation, because we always like to give two heads of important genetic brotherhoods where we're going to wind up as whatever, however that's organized outside of, like, let's stick with the people at the moment. So there's the Council of Nicaea being I'm present. Nicaean is the two of us are present. And then there's the SSIA, which is where at this point I'm the head of the SSIA, but it's not like I have a geographical, like, office anymore. There's the Citadel level that they record and the Vatican level that they record, but that's where everything is, there's a working governance of that under their regulations, so everybody knows it's legitimate. All right, because this is a rolling project for us, right? So I said, well, how am I going to get over the fact that some of them have now grown accustomed to me in an era before? I mean, I'm in Europe while they're all in America, so I'm safe over here. I know nobody knows me because I know the Gunders, my 10 Gunder Condor wing that I'm flying in on next, they are all afraid to fly. They were built right. They're afraid to fly. They stay away from the, they're all born Protestant for the protesters in the London. They'll be happy. And then I've got, they all marry Catholics, which is going to make, whatever, the grandmother roll over in her grave. But listen, I have a big bone of contention and a lot of ligatures that I have to work with as puppet strings on my family to get my part right, and then be able to not be fat and bloated like a whale if the rest of the world gets their part wrong again. These are our private councils. This is exactly what happened. It was almost like, it felt like it was at a picnic table. P-I-C, picnic, N-I-C-T-A-B-L-E. I'm like, this is hilarious. I said, we're all sitting here like at a picnic table, like as if we're having like a family barbecue to like hide our image away from the rest of them that live in like holier than thou places, just to have a real image but without real people of the time, to explain how poor my real family on the Condor 10 that I'm flying in on is actually living. Why can't we queue up their real image? Oh, right, now we have the International Spy Federation or some bullshit of like, why can't I pull up an image of how poor they're living in this schlock up? I mean, they're mine. They're my Condor wing. I'm going to magically appear in the scene after Linda has me. It's not like we don't know what's going on down in the ranks of Humanville from Mount Olympus. Why are we having trouble with the like people who we counsel with? I mean, they know what's on the line, what's at stake, and how we are. Why is there any misinterpretation or questions leading to my bloating up like a science project's broken, which it is, which they need my help to fix, but then they're going to ignore me and have me do this in the car by myself. Right, I know cars aren't supposed to exist, so why am I here? More broken science projects. So this has been a big breakout, and fast and furious, which is what I had said to you idiots, or you past idiots. So here we are in, where do I want to go from here? This is a very long soliloquy for a colloquial. All right. Oh yeah, Craig did mention, by the way, I don't know what's going on in his, there'd be no way for me to know, but he did mention that he saw something about Trump doing something about Poland only rally, a R-A-L-L-Y P-O-L-A-N-D R-A-L-L-Y. Which, if that's the case, I thank him, because I know what that's pertaining to, because everything, here's the thing, I mean, we told you this 100,000 times, but now, of course, this is a new version of you, and I don't know if Zodiac is working at getting your cars lined up in your families and bringing you back in the proper order that I need you. It seems like people are jumping skins because they found out that they want better-looking families, but they don't deserve them because their inner animal is disgusting and nobody wants them in their family. All right, so that's another bone of contention. Okay, so those are those sidecars that just started popping up, but I made records of those. I just hope they got to the right people. All right, so here's the thing. We have you always have the over-the-counter, right? I mean, nowadays you have over-the-counter drugs. So they're Here's the counter, right? Here's the countertop. Here's my over-the-counter. Oh, you would like a glass of water? Sure, Nicole. You look like a good person. I know your family. I know who you are. Here's a glass of water. This is over the counter. Now, if this is the counter, right here, can you see what's going on below the counter? No. Do you know, am I wearing pants? Am I wearing a skirt? No. Great. Okay. So when I'm human, trying to do stuff over the counter, being like regular humans that you can see, there's still stuff going on under the counter that I was advising on from Olympus over the clouds that I was trying to get to fix when the over-the-counter gives a glass of water to Nicole. The under-the-counter in dangerous places that we're trying to shut off and down is doing this, and this all at the same time. Do you think you could find, I don't know, maybe like 25 good guys on the entire planet, since there's like 7.5 billion flesh pieces of skin? You think maybe 25 could do like 6 tasks if the water glass comes over the counter? I'm just curious. I mean, I don't get, when we had this, and we had teams established, we had words established, we had groups established, we had discrimination for purpose established, why we could not keep my part where I needed to go established in the establishment that everybody thinks there is. Right, there is an establishment. The problem is that you assholes keep breaking down the establishment and then complaining. Well, why were the black slaves? I don't know. Did you see them slaves? Did you? I mean, what year was it? It's a little confusing because I had Slavic, Yugoslav slaves as well. They were not dark at all like the ones in America that claim. But I don't know who boated you all here, because I know you can't swim from Africa or the islands in the West Indies, right? I mean, I read the Coast Guard's news blogs. They say people wind up dead every day from trying to paddle. I mean, that's okay. But how did you all that got on to Florida and up through Mexico into, not that they're Mexican, they could have come up from Honduras, Ecuador, Venezuela, Colombia. It is a very, Argentinians, they don't really flee. No, they usually like it there. It's a very large coastline. I don't know. They have good things over there. Or so I heard. So, and why are all of your people fleeing if you are so good at management back home? Why do they keep wanting to come to America? I'm just curious. Like, we don't want them here. And it makes me look at you and go, what are you doing down here that's so bad that they all want to come up to where I am? And how do they know that up where I am is so great? Who told them that? It's horrible. I fucking hate it. I got my own shit going on. Right. So I'm a little confused how you humans are working the overall picture system. So if I have a... right, then we have, okay, so your body is your temple, right? Temple. And then you have, I'm like, right, okay, so if everybody's body is their temple, being Christian, Jew, I'm sorry, stay away from Jew since it's a bad word, Christian, Hebrew, or the Muslim, right? We went with Muslim. The reason why we gave that word is that there was this hybrid in between that did not really agree, where they lived in an area that had different laws. They did not want to live by Hebrew law. They did not want to live by Christian law. And Christian was a little bit of an outlaw at that point because they accepted things that Hebrews would not. So we gave the very handsome slim guys the Muslim name. Now it has these different looking, right, they go by the crescent moon and the star. They have a different looking thing. They call it mosque. But they, by the way, are following in the Christians of accepting all different colors, which originally, gentlemen, I believe our agreement was you keep your Muslims as slim and beautiful, colored, traditional as my Hebrews, and we won't have a Christian problem with either of you. Remember that? Okay, so here we go. Hebrews don't like their women to know Torah law or how to read the Torah. I stayed true to the Jews. I don't know how to read their Torah. I have a husband, I believe, who can. And he came with some shampoo bottles written in Hebrew. And I'm like, what is that? I can't read that. I was like, which one's shampoo? He says, don't worry. He says, I'll help you. I said, thanks. That's nice. So we kept true to our word of I won't learn Hebrew symbols, or how to read it. I might know some facts about it, which I won't really, just enough that they know that I'm not, like, this is not my first rodeo. And let's see, but I promise I won't know how to read it, and that will be his area of expertise, being that he's the man. I'll do the Christian thing under the guise of the Holly Cat, for the Holy Catholics who we're having the same problem as the Muslims with keeping everybody once they got on the lands. And then the church was like, wait a minute, now I am a holy father, I'm a deacon, the pastor, or whatever. I'm not your bishop, cardinal. I don't know what's going on in the territory over in Rome, in the holy papal state. However, where we are, we do believe that we were raised right to take care of our communities. And now that our communities are changing, we're having trouble figuring out, can we speak to a Torah person and cross-reference, or like, because we know, right, there's certain lands that like Muslims are not allowed in because Christian was already having their own issue, and we don't need extra like sets of problems. That's why America was going to, and Canada was always going to stay Christian, whether they want to be bishop, whatever, it didn't matter. That's why I believe we also gave under the umbrella of the Christ, being my mother's face and the idol, and then whatever I got going on in the Flippo and extraterrestrial painters. And Cataruza, extraterrestrial painters. I know we used to give just the Flippo, which they like that, in fancy places. However, it made a problem with poor Antonin when he was going to marry Di Filippo, and he still could not get, I mean, he was a painter, but he was a starving artist, let's be honest. Let's see. Yeah, it's the big groups of people that are the hardest to communicate with. I know that when we're in like inner circle, small systems, it's easy, but I don't understand why are you having such a hard time over the broad spectrum of things, explaining my part and how important just Niklaus and I are. Oh, right. I wrote on one of my things. So here's the thing. 1978, the plan was written that Hitler and I were married ahead of time, being in Antonin, the extraterrestrial time